since I got a little screwed up on these 4 wires whenever I was hooking this amp up to begin with, I went ahead and made a note of where they go, because I do know where they all go now, and based on where they're plugged into this amplifier. So now one at a time, so I've got driver's side 10 is number 1. I can go down here and find channel 1 and mark that as driver's side 10, so forth and so on. Get all 4 of those labeled. That way, whenever I put them on the other amplifier, I won't be fighting with that demon. So we have driver's side 10 and passenger side 10, D10 and P10. That'll do it. Now we look up under here and we can see which driver is which. And then we use this knowledge to label it as we pull them out. Bob's your uncle. So driver's side 10, driver's side tweet, passenger 10, passenger tweet. Got it. Now this amp has everything on this end except the power. So I can flip it over and get the speaker wires to fit, but then I'd be putting all my controls on the bottom. I don't want that. So yeah, this is going to be tricky business. All right, I made a couple of marks. There's one here, one over here. I can hardly see them, but I'm going to use those to get positioning in my bridge. I lost one of those marks, so I'm going to use the silver Sharpie. This Sharpie's special. This is the one that I gave to EXO last year to sign autographs for everybody, so it's got some mojo in it. It's got a little bit of Bruce mojo. Pretty sure that's where I had that. I just need to get the width, where I want it vertically exactly lined up, and the width so that I can figure shit out. Little guy is, we're going to call it 6 inches wide. It's actually less than that, but we're going to call it 6. These guys, from foot to foot, from hole to hole, 7.5. So if we make our little blocks about 1.5 inches, should be good. So if we do 1.5 inches by, let's say 10 inches, that gives us a good area to steer for when we mount it. So we need to build up 2.5 inches tall, I think. This is the amp I'm pulling out. So yeah, it's literally 2 inches. So we're going to have to go up at least 2 1/4. 2 1/4, 2 1/2. So we'll be looking at something like this. I mean, neater and everything and painted, but essentially that. I gotta have room down the side of that amplifier to run my speaker wires so that they're going behind it. I got these set up in such a way that they're staggered, so that when I screw them together in layers, I won't collide with any screws. And also at the very end where the amp will be mounted, there won't be anything for it to hit. Got just enough wire to make this work. The amp's going to top out right in this area here. So we're not going to look at a lot of extra, but we got enough. It's going to be close. And yeah, I can mount the 4-channel a little bit lower and get some more slack, but I want it to line up with the bottom of this amplifier. So that's where I've got that positioned. I want them to line up. I mean, how can you not? The level. Can't really get the damn thing in there. I need a pocket level. Let's go over some. Not about there. Looks good. Just to be thorough. Look at that. Shy an inch and a quarter. So we're doing 9 inches outside the outside. Put some mark in here. All right. We got our 2 brackets in here. And they're good and solid. Right. So we got our little guy mounted back in here, and that is one in the back. We'll probably take those 2 out of there. We don't need those, but everything is golden. We just got to finish. We got to finish, right? So I got my DSP signal wire running right down through here. I'm going to be running my speaker wires through the same area. Yeah, that's the plan. Now, the way I'm going to do this in my head is I'm going to measure out the power and ground leads, get those hooked up to the amp and to, well, at least to the amp. Hook up the remote to the amp. Then I'm going to hook up the speaker wires with the amp down here somewhere. And I'm going to slide the amp in position, tucking the wires as I go, as far up as I can go, or to the point to where it's level, whichever one comes first. I think that's going to be easier than trying to hook up speaker wires up here with them just barely reaching through. That's my plan in my head anyway. Turn this one into a ground and let the other one be a power. Recycle, renew, reuse. Close the loop. That'll work out pretty good right there. All right. Barrels on. Get sucker on there. I'm not crazy about these install gear heat shrinks. They're really thin, but for what I'm using them for, which is just kind of to give a little insulation around here and also hold these on, that'll be fine. I just want to put them in a marine environment or any kind of heavy abuse environment. They'll get the job done for, you know, lightweight stuff like this. knowing how this is going to be positioned, I'm making sure that my lugs are turned the right way whenever I attach this. That way I don't have the wire trying to do too much of a twist. I'm more concerned about it than I am my install gear label. Just saying. A little bit snug, and we'll start cranking it down. When you're using ferrules, you don't have to worry about breaking wires inside because ferrule protects it. But you do want to get a good crank down on it so that you can press that ferrule the first time and it creates that nice molded shape to fit in this terminal. You're going to want to put a little bit of torque on it when you do your thing. And it's not going to go in near as far as it might with just copper. So expect that too. All right, connecting all the dots together is going to be tricky. And I ain't 100% sure on which way we're going yet. But I do know that I got to strip all these wires. And I don't want these stupid labels to fall off. So I'm going to probably add some tape to them. Because the labels are great. I wish I could have used heat shrink on them like I did that one. But I don't have enough of that. I don't have any more of that really small heat shrink, that clear. You take these and run them long ways and then put the clear heat shrink on top. Works great. Like this, you guys can see that. But that label there, showing right up through there, it's perfect. But I don't have that, so what I'm doing now is just busy work. I know these are going to have to be stripped regardless of how I proceed exactly, and I would rather strip them when the amplifier isn't over here, so easier to work, and also less likely to get any kind of debris, copper debris in the inside the amplifier. Yep, that's going to be snug. I got a cable holder holding them up kind of in the area, then just friction holding them there. It's going to be tight work, man. What I may do is temporarily hang the amp lower so I can work on it, and then unscrew it and then slide it up and then screw it back down. I think that's a plan. Y'all like that idea? I like that idea. Y'all comment down below if you think that was a pretty smart idea, right? Now we got all this slack we can work with. Get them where we want them, and then we can slide the thing up into position. I think it was freaking brilliant. I only get so many genius thoughts in your lifetime, and in my lifetime, I think I just used up my last one. In case you are wondering, yes, I'm going to try to use ferrules on these. I don't know that they'll fit yet. We'll find out in a second. Yes, they will. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, that looks nice and snug. That's my driver's side tweeter. And it's on channel 1. So we're going to do driver's tweeter, passenger tweeter number 2, driver's door number 3, passenger door number 4. Use you guys to peek in here. Pretty sure that I know. Yep, 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 is here, and then 3 and 4 is there. So they follow the same nomenclature, which I figured they did, but double check because stupid. Now, they also have ferrule crimpers that'll crimp a ferrule up to 8 gauge. I have a real nice pair somewhere. All right, all 4 channels are connected. Now I got to do the one-handed whip your wop, slap your mama, and punch your daddy thing to get this where it belongs. This is the sketchy part. part I'm not looking forward to. Well, I got things in a sort of a possibly functional way. I'm not really sure on a couple of these which one's which. I'll have to turn everything way down and slowly bring it on to figure it out. But most of it looks good. It's a kind of a ball there, but I got to do all the settings checks. And of course, I still got to put the power and ground on when I get done, but I want to get everything else done first. Don't know what this means. I wish I had a test light. I would use it. Let's do it. Good. That was a lot less violent. I appreciate less violence. More violence in video games, less violence in hooking up amplifiers. All right, blue lights on. Green lights on the back one. Both blue lights are on up here. We are playing. All lights on, everything's working. I got a basic tune going on. Got a train wreck down here, but that's a tomorrow problem. But we got it in. Got everything playing. Sounding really, really good. And I just got a really basic tune. All I did was went through and set my gains on my mids and highs at about 3/4 because I'm going to adjust those anyway in my DSP. Set them both roughly the same point, and then I went in the DSP and fixed all the crossover points for everything. Flattened the EQ for everything because it's all jacked up, so I just flattened it. Basically, it's just a 0 EQ. Crossovers at 3,000 hertz. I set them at a real basic 80 to 3,000 on the 10s, and then 3,000 and all the way up on the tweeters. Saved that setup so that I would accidentally open it the wrong way. And, yeah, just flatten everything out and got it on the crossover set right, and the gain set to a point where I'm okay. Because like I said, I'm going to adjust the level output from DSP anyway. You know, I can set the gains all the way up if I want to, because when I'm in the DSP, I'm going to adjust the levels. But I usually set them at about 3/4 on my mids and highs amps, and then just call it good. I'll adjust them until I'm happy with them and they're not clipping. And oh yeah, you can forever easily hear when your mids and highs clip. So, and I won't be running those dirty. I'll just be running them up to that area, or probably not even close to being the max power. So I won't even be in the ballpark of it, but I'm going to make those calls and adjustments from the DSP, not from the gains on the